Hey guys, welcome back. Orbomb here, bringing you another one of our live tabletop matchups. I know you guys like these kind of content, so if you want to see more, and I want to record more for you guys, but the last one didn't do super well, don't forget to drop that like button. It helps me out. It makes me motivated to do more of these. So today we're doing Blacephalon, my boy Blacephalon, as always. That's me on the left, and then to the right is going to be my buddy Tony. He's playing Pikachu again, because we're still testing Pikachu. And we're still testing the Blacephalon matchup. It's two supposedly aggressive decks. We're going to be doing our best to showcase how each of these decks work out well versus this particular matchup. Just kind of a race of who can set up better and faster kind of thing. So before we get into the video, don't forget to drop a like, and don't forget to check out our sponsors like Guardian Gaming. As always, great people for supporting the content. Don't forget to check them out. Use code ORBOMB as always to get 5% off purchases if you want to purchase some codes there. That's where I get all my codes. Anyways, I got a Blacephalon lead, which is great. As you know, my let's see, actually had a pretty decent start here. Like I can get myself yeah, Poipole, I have Blacephalon, I even have Marshadow in hand if I don't want to use a draw supporter and just want to try to put him down to 4. For those of you who are curious about this Blacephalon list, the video before this one actually did showcase this particular deck, like the build that I'm using right now. And then to the right, Pikachu is going to be different than the one I'm currently using. I'm just going to go ahead and use Cynthia here. I want to try to find more Poipoles. In order for me to win, I just have to make sure I can OHKO the Pikachu, especially since he led with it, which is not super great for my opponent. But he is playing 3 Pikachu in his build, no Marshadows. It's a little bit more focused on setting up the Pikachu, as opposed to my build that's more of a Thunder Buddies kind of idea with Marshadows and a Oranguru. So it's different than my build, but it's more Pikachu focused. I don't know if I like it, but I have a Muck in hand, so I'm gonna see if I can find an Alolan Grimer here. Which I have 1 backwards cards. That's Beast Energy. I'm gonna replace it after this game, I think, if I remember correctly. But I never actually find the Beast Energy in this game, so don't worry about it. Spoilers, I guess. Looks like I don't have the Grimer in the deck. Maybe I do. I guess we'll find out here. He is playing Zapdos in his build and Jirachi and stuff like that, so I am actually, I do want to get me the Grimer as soon as I can. And for those of you who are wondering, I have been sick for almost 3-4 weeks now. I'm going to go ahead and Marshadow because there's nothing much else I can do. If I remember correctly, actually, I'm pretty sure I prized one of my Poipoles as well, so I can't even get another Poipole if I wanted to. So we're just going to go ahead and Marshadow. I didn't have a draw supporter in my hand anyways, so being able to Marshadow here is pretty nice, just to give me a follow-up turn while also disrupting my opponent. That's going to be my other deck, my Ultra Necro Malamar deck. I'm going to go ahead and put the Beast Energy on top in case it ever comes into play. Naga, Ultra Ball. I don't want to lose anything in my hand because I have Beast Ring and Energy Switch, so we're just going to go ahead and pass here. I can grab Lele next turn if I need to grab me a draw supporter with the Ultra Ball. We still have the Ultra Space 2 that can get us a Naga and Adele, or another Blacephalon in case I'm worried about a knockout. He's going to use turn 1 Lily here. You're going to see me nag him about putting the cards right next to his deck list so that it actually shows up on camera, because if you guys don't know, I'm still recording on my phone. There's a second Blacephalon, Pikachu down, so I essentially have my road to game now, but hitting 250 is actually not the easiest thing to do in this deck. We did top deck, which is pretty handy. We get 2 Nagas down here. I can Ultra Ball for something. Maybe I can Ultra Ball to get me that Ditto down, because I am also playing Ditto in this deck, just to evolve into Alolan Muk, since my Grimer is probably prized. Then again, it might not be prized and I just don't remember. We played multiple games. I don't know if I really want to lose the Beast Ring in my hand though, so I'm actually just going to choose to draw first. I do get an attack off this turn at the very least. Although I don't know if it's like super important to attack with not bursting burn. I don't like using my GX attack right away. I had a lot of people ask me that in the comments yesterday. Since we can't take an OHKO here, I'm probably just going to use bursting burn to put him in range if he flips tails. So like if he takes 20 damage guaranteed from burn, right? If he flips tails here, then he takes another 20 damage, but he actually doesn't, which means now I either need to find Choice Band or Beast Energy to take an OHKO on him for only 4 energies, which is something I'm trying to avoid. Now, I do put another Blacephalon down because I want to make sure that if he does take a knockout here, we can easily Beast Ring and then take a knockout that way. There's a switch, so he's no longer confused, and he can use Jirachi's ability. And this is why I was trying to get down Muck earlier. And I'm kind of 50-50 on the Muck in this deck still, because like the biggest issue with Muck is that because I'm not playing a like Nest Balls, it's a little bit harder to get down to Ditto in this deck than it would be in most cases. So without Ditto down, it's a little bit harder to like stick a muck on the board, because you need, in an ideal situation, right, against let's say Zapdos, you want to get down both Ditto and Grimer so that you can guarantee a turn 2 muck as long as you have all the cards to search for it. But there's the problem right there, is finding all the cards to search for it. So I'm 50-50. I don't know if I'm going to keep the muck in the deck forever, because 3 deck spaces does mean an extra line of Naganadel and something else for consistency, like maybe a second Erica or something like that, or a second energy switch, because I do like the energy switch in this deck. And yes, I am still losing my voice. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, because, you know, it's been a whole 5 minutes. But I am losing my voice because I've been sick for so long. He's going to go ahead and Guzma me, which is a little bit awkward, because now I can't attack him turn 2 unless I have energy switch manual attachment, which I do have the energy switch. I just need that manual attachment now. We have Ultra Ball. Let's see what we get here. I'm going to go ahead and move everything down so it's easier to set up. We did top deck a Guzma, which does mean we get close to a knockout. I might just knock out the Jirachi, honestly. We're going to go ahead and use this to thin the deck a little bit. Yeah, there's a Poipo, so it's not prized. And I'm not seeing the Grimer, so I think Grimer is prized this game. But we can use this Poipo to discard with Ultra Ball, because we only play a 3/3 line of Naganadel in this deck, but I do play one Stretcher to shuffle back in some Pokemon if I need to. And we do have some options here. I do want to draw, but at the same time, I don't know if I can. I might just play a second Marshadow to try to find a manual attachment. But I'm just going to go ahead and go for his consistencies card instead. Just take a knockout. No need for me to do too much here. We did find an energy off of the prize, which is pretty good. So we do get an attack again next turn. Yeah, I'm just looking at the camera. So you'll see me randomly get up just to look at the camera. Make sure that there's no glare. We found a pretty good spot to record at the local store that I record at. He's going to use Volkner here. And energy switch means he's probably taking a knockout here. So I'm glad I held onto the B string in my hand. Oh, also the mute button on my freaking microphone stopped working, which is really upsetting, because like if I ever need to like do any gross sneezing or coughing, you guys are going to hear it all. I mean, I'll probably edit it out and post, but hopefully I don't have to do that anymore. I feel a lot better. Like I don't feel sick anymore like I've been, but at the same time, like you never know when a cough might sneak up on you, or a sneeze might sneak up on you. I need to dust my room. That aside, there is the juice that he needed. He has a Zapdos down too, which could knock out Marshadow later, or like with Electropowers could knock out Naganadels. There's a choice band, so he's actually good to just take a knockout, which means it is B string time, baby. And with an energy in the discard pile, that does mean 5 with Naganadel's ability. He's going to go ahead and attach probably to the benched Pikachu just to continue his onslaught. But he's taking 2 prizes, and I'm going to be taking 3, putting me at 2 prizes left, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. The problem is that like he has, with that Zapdos down, he could theoretically, if I put down another Blacephalon, which I'm going to have to, if I put down another Blacephalon, then he could weaken one Blacephalon and then GX for game because he has 4 prizes left. So that's scary in its own right. Speaking of which, there it is. There's my B string. So the reason why I put down the second Blacephalon is because if he does take another knockout, which he can do with the Pikachu in the back, I want to make sure I have another one that's ready to just go into directly, because between manual attachments and energy switches, I can get an attack off immediately. Which I'm going to Ultra Ball, put more energies in the discard pile, I think. Although we have 2 in there already. Although I'm pretty sure it's... Okay, there's a manual attachment. Ultra Ball away. Another one, and another Fire Energy and a Poiple. See what we can get. I think we might just Marshadow here. Keep him at a low hand size. That seems pretty decent because we don't have a draw supporter. If I play down Lele, that's another easy target for his GX attack. So I don't want to play down Lele. You can always get like Tapu Koko Prism, Energy Switch, and... what's it called? Thunder Mountain that could get him a GX attack without having to do anything else, really. Manual attachments. He has ways to get a GX attack next turn fairly easily. So I want to make sure we don't have any easy targets for him. The only thing I want to do this turn is pretty much guarantee a knockout, and then from there try to find a Guzma for the following turn and knock out the other one on the bench. Choice Band could help a lot if we can find Choice Band. There's another B string that we can play, which means more energies on the board, which is good for us. I was trying to think of like what else like he could do And the only thing I think of is attack me with Zapdos, put me in range, and then GX me, right? And then those are the double Nagas coming through. 5. There's a lot of energies on the board, so we're going to be able to take a knockout. And hopefully we can take a follow-up knockout. That's like the biggest concern, right? Remove 2. I'm just trying to, I want to keep at least 1 energy on all my Blacephalon so I can just manually attach and attack. So that's 5 energies right there, so that's a knockout. 6 energies in the Lost Zone, and I play 14 basic fires. So 6 in the Lost Zone, 1, 2, 3, 4 on board, meaning there's only 4 left in the deck. If he doesn't take a knockout here, that is another B-string turn for us as well. So he needs to take a GX knockout here, or else we can B-string and potentially guarantee the game. So there's the risk of, like, sure, he can GX me, but he won't be able to take all the prizes at the same time. And if he weakens me with Zapdos, he runs the risk of me finding another B-string. So there's an Ultra Ball, getting rid of a Guzma, and I think that was an Electro Power as well. Let's see what he finds here. He could Coco GX me, that's another option, but there's Tapu Koko Prism. So looks like he's trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do right now. If he GXs me, that can put him at least 1 prize remaining. I guess what he could do is he could knock out the active and the bench Naganadel, putting me at only 2 prizes, 2 energies on the board, meaning that I would only have 2 energies on the board, only 1 Naganadel, making it 3 energies. Manual attachment is 4, forcing me to find a choice band or beast energy for knockout. That could be a play. I am playing 1 choice band in this deck as well. I feel like with Blacephalon recently winning a regional, it would be pretty good to have choice bands to make knocking out Blacephalons in the mirror a little bit easier. Let's see what he does here, though. And here's where the Muck would come into play too, because if I had the Muck down, I could probably stop that Coco Prism from putting in its own work. So blame the prizes on that one, I would guess. There's a Zeraora. That's another Pokemon that I can knock out for game, which is actually a little bit easier than the Pikachu because I only need 4 energies. He's going to go ahead and use the Prism now, put energies on Zapdos and on Zeraora. Now we have free retreat, so we can actually just retreat into Zapdos and weaken me. So it looks like he might be doing the weakening play that I was mentioning earlier. He might just Guzma as well. He has a Guzma in hand. I don't remember if he played a supporter this turn. I don't think he did. Well, there's a choice band. So it looks like he is going for the weakening play. He doesn't have enough Electro Powers to take a knockout from what I can gather. He's already used some and discarded others. So he's only going to be hitting me for 110 here, which is scary because now I have to find a Guzma. I don't have any more bench space, so I can't Lele for Guzma. He didn't take a knockout, so I can't Lele for Guzma. There's Ultra Ball, which means Naganadels are a little bit more live, but and there's a Low and Muck. There he is. Too bad he can't hit the board. Let's see what else we can do here. Doesn't look like we can do much. Small hand size really messing me up. There's another treasure, putting 2 more in the, putting another one in the Lost Zone, continuing to thin my deck out. Do I have a way to draw? I mean, we could always use like Heat Factory if I find it, which I haven't found this game yet. But it looks like there's nothing I can grab, so we're just gonna go ahead and shuffle. What else are we doing here? Show me the Guzma. Do I have a Guzma? I do not have a Guzma. So it's actually looking pretty bad because, like I said, he can GX me for game now because I'm gonna be knocking out this Zapdos. And that means he can go into Pikachu and then Guzma, or go into Zeraora, try to set up the Pikachu and then Guzma. He just needs manual attachment, energy switch, Thunder Mountain, and that will give him 5 energies, right? Yeah, because he doesn't have Tapu Koko anymore, so he needs energy switch, Thunder Mountain. I can still use my B-strings. We're gonna throw these down on the board just to get rid of them from my hand because there's no use for having them anymore. And we'll fail them because we don't have enough energies. We have 2 more left in the deck, and I kind of want to use them for potential drawing off of a Heat Factory or manual attachment if I need to. So that's why I'm not going to grab them out of my deck. That's assuming they're both in the deck too. I know that there was at least one in the deck, if I remember this game correctly, and I knew I just didn't want to grab it for that reason. We're going to GX here instead. There's a Naganadel prize, which is why I never put down that third Poipole. I'm GXing just because I can knock out anything in front of me next turn in pretty much every scenario. I'm assuming I have Guzma in hand. Here's that Guzma play I was talking about. But can he pull it off? He needs manual attachment, energy switch, Thunder Mountain in that small hand of his. Because he already played Guzma, which means he can't use a draw supporter. So like, he needs to have that exact 3-card combo. I can't think of any other way to do it. And I don't think he has it. I think he's going into his highest HP Pokemon to try to dodge a knockout since there's only 4 energies on the board. Although I think there's 5. I think that other Naganadel has another energy under it. Maybe not. Regardless, we have Naganadel, so we do get to take a knockout on this thing next turn anyways. He might just have to knock me out here and then hope I don't get a manual attachment. If he can knock me out too, he could just GX me here without using the secondary effect to guarantee a knockout, making me have 2 less energies on the board. But there's the Electro Power. He's just going to take a knockout here. All right, well, let's see if we have it. We have 2 knockouts on the board with 2 energies on the board. So that means we guarantee 4, which means we need that oh, wait a minute. No, Blacephalon had 2 energies on it. Never mind. We win. Yeah, we just used both Naganadels. Yeah. I forgot that I had both of my Blacephalon set up and ready to go. All right, there we go. That's game 1. Even I forgot about that. So there we go. Game 1. This is actually a best of 3. So there's going to be 3 games in this one, guys. Don't worry about it. We're going to go ahead and move on to game 2 here in a second. And bada boom. All right, game 3. Let's get this money. All right, so my opponent gets to go first, which is pretty useful because you want to get those attachments ready and going so that you can attack with Pikarom faster. Hopefully he doesn't lead Pikarom this time. I think in this matchup, you want to focus more on like attacking with Zero Auras and then maybe closing the game out with a Pikarom if I'm ever forced to play down a Lele or something like that. Maybe even use Zapdos to knock out early Pokemon. And yeah, here's me changing out the the backwards card for a Beast Energy. I'm going to be doing videos with Ultra Necrozma soon as well because I have a really, really cool Ultra Necrozma list. It's a little bit unique. It only plays 1 Jirachi because I've been going back and forth between do I want to play Jirachi in my build or do I just want to go free pivot and use Coco instead? I've been back and forth about it. And because all the like standard decks play 2 Jirachi, I've been like, do I have to play 2 Jirachis as skateboards? I decided that in the end, maybe I'll just stick in 1 Jirachi, and it's been working wonderfully because the deck runs the same that I would run without having the Jirachi with like the high draw supporters, high search cards, keeping the deck consistent. And then we throw in a Jirachi that adds that little bit more extra consistency without having to change up the build entirely. So we did lead Lele, which is worst case scenario against Pikarom, because now he knows, oh, I just set up Pikarom and GX and take 4 prizes at some point this game, because I have no way to pick this thing up outside of like what I don't have a way. I don't play Isprella in this deck, and he's never going to weaken it. He's always just going to Oko it. So he has Jirachi lead. We're going to try to get down Grimer this game, but we'll see what happens. The skateboard there, Cynthia. But yeah, this is literally where I only play a 1 of Lele in this deck, trying to minimize my Lele leads. There's actually, I finally found this website that I've been looking for a long time. I can never remember the name because nobody ever told me the name. The thing was Deck Trio, the website that tells you like percentages of leading Pokemon based off like your opening hand, and then percentages of like having a lone lead. And I know that like lone lead Lele is like, I think it's like 6% or something like that, maybe a little bit lower than that. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to check out the website again. It's actually really cool. There's a Pikarom, he knows. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully I remember to cut that out. If not, I do apologize. Zera Aura, Acrobikes. Let's see. What all does he have here? Lightning Energy and Discard Pile. That's pretty good for Coco. Manual attachment. Does he want to do? I guess he's just attaching and passing. All right, cool. So we have a pretty search-hungry hand, which is both good and bad because that makes searching later in the game a little bit more difficult. I think we have like 4 ball search of my 8 ball search cards in my hand, if you count Treasure as ball search. There's Grimer. I want to get that down right away, and I also want to get down Ditto, so we're going to try to do that. But look at that. We have 2 Ultra Balls, 2 Treasures, and whatever that other card in my hand is. But I definitely want to try to get down Ditto, but I also want to get down a bunch of Poipole. So it's kind of like rough, right? I think for future games, now that I've tested this, I'm probably going to exclusively... Oh, there's Erica. So we don't want to use Erica this game, apparently. I think in future games, I want to exclusively set up my Poipoles in this board and just knock out Jirachi when I can, I guess, because I just feel like if you can get down all of your Poipoles, you have an easier time taking out Pikarom as well as just attacking if you need to. So we're going to go ahead and use Cynthia here. Hopefully we can find Blacephalon and manual attach. That'd be best case scenario. If we let him knock out Lele, we can also find Blacephalon and use B-strings on it. We also want to try to set up like 1 or 2 Poipoles, ideally 2 Poipoles. So like perfect scenario is we put down Poipole, Blacephalon from this Cynthia. We have Ultra Space. We still have a couple of Ball Search cards. We lost 4 of them, I think. So we might be able to do it, but I don't know if we can. There's Ultra Space, so that gets us at least something. We had a treasure in our hand too, so if I want to, I can get down Poipole and then get down Blacephalon. But then if I get down Blacephalon, the only thing that will help us out is getting a B-string, because I did not see a manual attachment in our hand. And here's where, like, for future games, I gotta remember that every time I play Blacephalon, game 2 I need to shuffle really well, because I can guarantee you all of my energies are clumped up in one location because of the last game. So we're just gonna go ahead and get down 2 Poipoles here because there's no manual attachment, and we can guarantee a Naga, and we have energies in the discard pile. We can at the very least put down Blacephalon following turn if he doesn't bump my stadium, and then B-string onto it if I can find it. I think we had 1 energy from early game, and there it was. All right, so there it is. I mean, and there's Coco Prism. Let's see if he can pull off some crazy plays. Erica for 5. There's Jirachi. So let's see what he can do. We didn't get much done in our turn. I mean, we got down all of our Pokemon except for Blacephalon, so it's not like we didn't do much. We just didn't get a manual attachment down, which is always upsetting in a deck that plays 15 energies, you know what I mean? There's Electro Power. So I don't know what he's doing with the Electro Power. I mean, he could theoretically take a knockout if he has a manual attachment here. And we know he has 1 lightning energy in the discard pile. So he might just be doing that and then attaching to himself or the Zeraora. I think he should be attaching to the Zeraora, but he might just attach to himself. I guess we'll find out here. Let's see if he's got... He does have the manual attachment in hand, which means he can pull off the Coco Prism play. I guess he's trying to put 1 more energy in the discard pile so he can at least maximize it, because I think he only has 1 right now. Does he have an Ultra Ball or an Ultra Ball in his hand? Something like that. There's a manual attachment. Coco Prism. Alright, and he's just gonna go, I guess he's just gonna go ahead and take the knockout here. Anything else he wants to do? I mean, what else does he have in his hand? I can't even tell. Nest Ball. Okay, so he's gonna set up probably a second Pikarom. That's my guess. Pikarom's so strong. It's such a good card. He's gonna go ahead and take his knockout here, which means I don't have to worry about his GX attack taking 2 prizes at the same time, I guess, or 4 prizes at the same prize at the same time. But he is loading up his 1 Pikarom. He's out here keeping the threat alive. He knows. He knows of the fact he wants to. I guess he just wants to take another 2 prizes and then close the game out with Zeraora later. I guess that's his game plan. And he wants to knock out like maybe Muck, because he knows I want to get down Muck down. I don't know. That might be his game plan. I actually don't know. But we're gonna go in Cynthia here, get a manual attachment of Blacephalon, and if we can't find B-strings this turn, it's looking like a fat L, boys and girls. It is looking like a fat L. We still have access to Marshadow. We can play 1 Marshadow down. So if we can do that, that could be nice. But we need to find like 2 B-strings, right? Because I don't think 1 is gonna cut it. And there's energy, and I think with that we just kind of lose. We're gonna go ahead and Bursting Burn him. But if he has like Switch Guzma or something like that, that's just a big fat L for me. So let's see if that keeps him in range. It does, I guess. So now he's going to be at 40 damage unless he switches here, which he can. He has free retreat, so there's that. We got Lily, Guzma, and 3 fire energies. That is unfortunate. No Marshadow, no way to ball search for Marshadow as well. And that's where I told you earlier that like finding all those ball search cards at the same time is not super great either. Double energy switch. I guess he's just going to attack me with Zero Aura this turn. It kind of feels like a waste considering that he attached all those energies to Pikarom, but he knows he's not going to be able to attack with Pikarom this turn. And I guess he can just attach energies and attack me with Pikarom later. I don't know how many energy switches he plays, but if he plays 4, he can still win the game with Pikarom's GX attack next turn. There's Electro Power. And from here, B-Strings are dead, and I think I'm just going to, let's see. We can't use B-String anymore. So yeah, we top deck the B-String, and we're just going to scoop this game up because there's no way we can win. He just takes another knockout next turn with Pikarom and then ends the game. So unfortunate game 2, but we got to show off like just like this matchup is very interesting, right? Like who can set up better, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit like, my deck's a little bit more combo based, while his is like easy turn 1, just like put down the Pokemon and attach an energy, and then follow up turn 2, try to just set up an attack try to set up an attack, put more energies on the board, and then GX. So as you can see, I'm gonna shuffle this way now because I don't want that whole energy situation to happen again. So we're gonna have a nice fun game 2 here, or game 3. And the cool thing about this is that what I'm trying to start doing, like we sped up the game a little bit, right? Just so that like the video isn't 50 minutes long, but we're trying to record all of our games in a 50-minute timer. So it's similar to a regional or like any other big tournament best of 3s. So this game was actually 52 minutes. So it's a little bit over. I'm just gonna go ahead and bank the last 2 minutes off of like time where you just go 0, 1, 2, 3. I think so. I guess we'll find out in the final few turns if that's the case. But I remember this game was 52 minutes altogether. Let's see. Now we get to go first. We have a Poipole lead, double Poipole, which is actually really nice. Ultra Ball to get us some Grimers, and or not Ultra Ball, Treasure to get us Grimer, and hopefully we can find Ditto as well. He led Jirachi. We even have Ultra Space to get Blacephalon down. This is a spicy lead. So we get to attach an energy to Blacef, or Treasure here first. Let's see, do we get Muck, do we get Marshadow, or do we get Grimer? I know that we need to get one or the other. All right, we do get the Grimer. So finally, game 3, with the Jirachi down, we're finally going to put down the Grimer, which would ideally get us an Alolan Muck this game, which means no Jirachi for him, just turn off a little bit more of his consistency, and a turn 1 Lily. Things are looking real good. We get a manual attachment, Ultra Ball, which pretty much gets us a Ditto, I believe. So that's really good for us too. And we have a follow-up. I believe we have a follow-up draw supporter in hand. Maybe not. I can't actually tell. We have Guzma that could help, but we're going to discard it just to get down that Ditto. I want to keep all the B-strings in my deck, so if I do find a B-string turn, I want to give the highest chances of finding it. And we're just going to Marshadow here, so no Ditto yet. I guess we're going to force him, if he's going to Guzma me, we have to force him to find Zapdos Energy Guzma to take a knockout on the what's it called this turn. And if he puts the energy on Zapdos, that means the energy is not going on Pikarom, which helps us a little bit. I guess we didn't have a draw support for the following turn, but we did just draw 4 energies, so we're in top deck mode, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we can do. He does bump my Stadium, which actually kind of sucks because I was hoping to get some Knockin' Adels next turn. He does get Cynthia, and he still has access to his Jirachi as well. So he has a pretty decent hand. Zero Aura down, but we can turn off that Zero Aura's ability with a Muck, so hopefully we can find ourselves a Muck turn 2. We're literally in top deck mode. We do have lots of outs, though. We have one more Marshadow, 1 Lele, and then we have however many Ball Search cards we have left. I believe we only used 2, so we have 6 more left, as well as every draw supporter in our deck, because we've only used 1 Lily, which means that is 8 more Ball Search card, 8 more draw supporters. So 8 draw supporters, 6 Ball Search. Let's That's 14 plus Marshadow Lele. So best case scenario, assuming none of that is prized, we have 16 outs, which is a good amount of the deck, especially since we've already thinned it by quite a bit. So no Zapdos down, which means I don't see him knocking out Grimer this turn. I guess he's just going to go ahead and attach and probably just pass. I don't know what else he wants to do here. He could switch, I guess, if he cares enough. No, he's not going to switch. What do we top deck? I guess we top deck something. We're going to attach and, oh, we top deck Lele. So like, this is good and bad because we got one of our outs I was talking about, but we also bench Lele, which means that is a target for Pikachu later, which is not good for me. So we want to try to win this game quickly. I guess we're just going to play Cynthia here because we have so many energies in our hand. 3 energies in our hand because we just attached one. So let's go ahead and put those back in the deck. And hopefully we can find a couple of Naganadels and knock out this Jirachi now. If we can find Muck, that could be good too, so it turns off for your retreat. We did find a Naganadel, Beast Energy, Stretcher, Ultra Space, so we actually got both of our Naganadels here. Get to bump his Stadium, which means no more, well, he'll remove his Stadium in a second, but no more minus 30. Which actually makes it a lot easier for us to take a knockout now. But there's double Naga. Did we find a way to get Muck down? I don't think we did. But we're going to knock out Jirachi this turn anyway, so I don't know how much it matters. Let's see. Yeah, we had no way to do it. So we're just going to go ahead and... Oof, it just sucks that we have Lele down, but we're going to go ahead and take our knockout here. 1 prize. And no Jirachi for him next turn. So let's see what he can do. He still has access to free retreat. And if he takes a knockout here, through whatever means, we have access to Pikachu. We have access to B-String. He's going to Guzma and pass. I think we have a Guzma in our hand of our own. We just need a manual attachment, which I don't know if we have right now. We do have Energy Switch. Do we have Energy Switch in our hand? No, we don't. We have B-String. So we can Guzma and just Bursting Burn this dude. Once again, try to put him in range. I guess we'll just thin our deck by grabbing more cards. Maybe another Blacephalon so that we could just B-String onto it immediately. But we're going to grab Poipole instead. Hopefully he can't bump the Stadium. I guess that's what we're hoping for. You know, in all these games so far, no Heat Factory. Which I know we play in the deck. We just haven't found it yet. Treasure that away to get Muck. Oh, I see. We're going to get Muck here. So that no more free retreat for my opponent. So we can't just switch this Pikachu out, which is really good for us because that means if he does flip tails on this burn, we do get to put him at 40 damage, which is enough for only 4 discards with Pikachu. Excuse me again, guys. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and do it. We have a full bench, so we don't care about having any more abilities. He did flip tails, which is perfect for us. I think he just has to pass here, which is so good for us. So we ended up successfully disrupting him by a good amount. And there's the hits, but that doesn't matter. We don't need any more damage on him. We have Erica, which does draw us 3 at least. He flipped over. It's fine. He'll fix it in a second. But we can at least draw 3 if we need to. That keeps B-Strings in our hand, which is going to be pretty nice but at the same time we could Cynthia. I don't know, maybe Cynthia's better because like I don't foresee him taking a knockout here, and we can probably take a knockout. All we need is literally 1 more energy on the board. So we're trying to dominate while we can. We got Beast Energy and Choice Band and another manual attachment. Do we have Ultra Ball to discard it? Beast Energy Choice Band means that we're hitting for plus 60 more damage, which means that if we discard 3 energies, that's 210. Which is enough to take a knockout while keeping our Beast Energy attached. So that's pretty big here. We have Ultra Ball too if we need to, but there we go. That's a knockout. That's 3 prizes for us, which means right now we're just trying to get an energy on the active, 2 on the discard pile for another 210 damage to take a knockout on the Zero Aura for game. And looks like he's just going to pass again. And do we have Ultra Ball? Do we have a draw supporter though? We have 2 Ultra Balls. We have a B-String. Energy Switch. Energy Switch does work but we don't really need it right now. We can just manually attach instead. We're just going to go ahead and Bursting Burn. I guess try to put him in range again. That's heads, I think. Well, I guess maybe not. I guess he's still burned. There's Jirachi, but he can't use the ability. He could switch into it, but then I just take a knockout and GX for game. And I guess that's what he's doing. He doesn't want me to take 2 prizes next turn. So he's trying to slow me down ever so slightly. Although I think he should have gone into Pikarom because I can't see myself taking a Pikarom knockout next turn. But I can definitely take a Jirachi into GX attack knockout. So we're going to go ahead and just do that. And now he has to win this turn or I just GX for game. And there's a lightning energy. And that's it. So we just GX for game. So that was a dominant win. So my opponent had a dominant win last turn. He just had choice bands. And like that's what happens when you play the Muck, man. Like, and there's Lily, but Lily wouldn't have drawn him much. So like that's what happens, man. When you play those Mucks, that Muck does essentially turn off any sort of good factor about this deck. So that's not true. I mean, the deck is still good without the Mucks. There's a lot of Jirachi-less Pikarom decks that are out there. But that's gonna be the games, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Let me know what matchups you want to see in the future. I currently have some expanded decks built, but I have to find somebody else that has expanded decks as well, or just make them play against my own expanded decks. So if you guys want to see some expanded content, because I have a Latios Malamar expanded build that I really want to showcase for you guys. I might do a TCGO video on that first before I do the live battle. There's also Wailord with Onyx because, or Archie Stoice with Onyx because Onyx hits the Pikoroms for weakness, who is probably one of the best decks in expanded right now. As far as standards go, I have Lucario Lycanroc built, I have Ultra Necro built, and I have Blacephalon built. So any of those decks you want to see, let me know. I can try to find some random people at my local shop that play different decks and just do some matchups versus them. Let me know in the comments down below because I really like recording tabletop matchups. I get to record these once a week at most if I can find someone to record with me during the days that I go to my local league, because there are always tournaments there, which means that like once the tournament starts, there's no more recording pretty much. Let me know what TCGO videos you want to see me next time, and also answer the comment question today for a chance to win some team up codes. Today's comment question of the day is going to be, what do you prefer, PCGO content or tabletop matchups? It's always good to know so I know which one I can focus on a little bit more. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, share all the good jazz, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.